Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the performance of the Tech Grade 8 Vegeta unit in the Pure Saiyans Esbr. So we're going to be seeing just how good he is. Obviously this is a brand new LR that has come out with part 2 of the Dokkan Metal 7th anniversary. And basically, we're going to see how well he does. Honestly speaking, I think he's a pretty good unit for SBR and ESBR. Yes, technically speaking, and I think you have to take the elephant in the room sometimes by the horns, but his defense can generally be quite low. Obviously, the design behind the unit is that he has great defense after supering. He has guarding against all attacks. I think this is a unit that, in hindsight, a lot of people really like to see obviously do well in that front slot. But at 55%, he can tend to take some damage. Like here, we're going to have an item active. You're going to see that he will take some damage beforehand. 99k is not really enough. It's definitely not enough defense to kind of avoid taking damage entirely, but it's going to be a good showing. Pure Saiyans Esbr is obviously a very hard stage, but yes, it's a good example of the kind of content that Vegeta can take on. And here you can see 23k, 4k, not bad, with an item that's really not too bad. Gets the 3 key, gets an AoE 3 million super. Pretty decent so far, a decent showing. Gets a crit as well, which is kind of miraculous because he's only got the 5 base crit. But yeah, it's a pretty good showing. Obviously, yeah, if you were fighting a Goku unit, you would have that key plus 3 and that attack of 60% additional. But this is a pretty solid showing. This is good, and it's nice to do an ESBR and not always have the best rotation up front either. I think it's always, you can always rerun in brackets or restart an SBR as many times as you want to kind of get the result that you want. And I think personally speaking, it's a good sign, at least for me, when you put a unit on a rotation that's not necessarily its best and it still does okay. Yes, we had an item, but it was pretty good. It was a good turn from Vegeta. Tanked really well. With the tanked great after super, the guard came in handy, and he did good damage. I think you can't ask for too much more considering the situation. Just considering that he's 55% and it wasn't his best rotation. Yes, there'll be a rotation where he's got support, he's got his best linking partner on this team, which is the Margin Vegeta, and you're going to see some pretty better numbers from him. But I think overall that's a good sign, and we're going to see how he does without an item. It's always something that people want to see, but I definitely think Vegeta is a unit that gets a little bit of a hard time. Just considering, I think, what people were expecting, but I think also his design plays into that a little bit. Clearly he's a unit that needs to get hit first to access his best attack stat, but in theory, his best position is actually not there at all. Your best position is actually leaving him as a floater or a second slot unit, which I think turns people the wrong way when there is counterintuitive design like that, and I do agree. 4.1 million this time, again, AoE, great. Took a decent chunk of damage. Obviously we did have a defense item active, but we're getting closer to seeing Vegeta's full abilities. Again, with items active, surviving Pure Saiyans ESBR is not an easy feat. A lot of units, even with items active, get one shot immediately. So it's really not been a bad performance at all by him. 3 million and 4 million attack stats that are AoE tend to really help you out in terms of damage. We're going to try here to not utilize items. That's generally what we're going to be doing. And the reason being is we want to try and get a turn without items for Vegeta. This is a 90% damage reduction unit who is taking 3000 damage. That does show how hard these enemies do hit. So just before anyone thinks that they don't hit hard, he's taking 17k on type neutral normals with 90% damage reduction. It's a very, very high bar to clear to be good in pure Saiyans ESBR. I think it's not unreasonable to say that if you can handle pure Saiyans ESBR with an item, you're doing pretty well. Yes, things like red zone and some of the red zone stages are indeed harder than this stage, but it's still a very good metric. We get the guard not proccing on Vegeta, which is always exciting. And yeah, we will see a pretty... Next turn we'll see just how well Vegeta does, because we're not going to be using an item, and we're going to see exactly what he brings to the table. It's going to be a good time. He's just going to have a very good setup as well. We've got the support on the rotation, we've got the margin Vegeta. Now we could use his ape form. Using his ape form would be good, would give us a free turn of damage as well. But we're going to see how well he does. 113,000 defense, obviously he does have a support on rotation, but we're going to see just how well he does here. 62k on the guard. Obviously that's not great. I'm not going to lie and say it's fantastic, but 62k. And then after supering, he's going to take single digits, of course. So it's a pretty good show. You can see that big difference in his defense from after he supers from beforehand. But yes, having a dupe in Vegeta would dramatically help him as a unit. You'll see those numbers drop down. That 62k drop down dramatically. Link leveling him will also help. He does gain a little bit of defense from his links, but for the most part, definitely I would suggest a dupe will help him. But overall, still pretty good. That's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. But until then, take care, stay safe, and leave a comment. Bye.